Welcome back, folks. In this video, I'm going to show you how to answer another practice set for the same flowchart question type. This example comes from the Cambridge IELTS book number 9, test number 1, and here we have reading passage number 3. Now, you've seen this article before when we were answering one of our other question types. So this time, we're going to be answering the flowchart questions. Let's read the title, The History of the Tortoise. So we know that these questions are going to be about the tortoises. We're going to come straight down to our questions here. Let's begin with the directions. No more than 2 words and or a number. That means that you can have only 2 words or a number. You can also have 2 words plus a number. Okay? Here we have the title of the question set, Method of Determining where the ancestors of turtles and tortoises come from. And then here we have our sequence of questions. So the way I'm going to start off here is I'm going to first mark the keywords in this title over here, because if I can locate these keywords from the title, then I'll be able to locate the matching paragraph, and then my job is going to become much more easier. So the first thing you'll notice is that we are looking for a certain method. This seems to be describing some sort of a method. A method for determining where the ancestors of turtles and tortoises come from. Okay, so it's a method for determining. That can be a keyword. Not quite sure if we'll find that. Ancestors is a good keyword. Turtles and tortoises, now that is probably going to be repetitive. Those are going to be useless repetitive keywords because the whole article is about tortoises. So that word is going to keep appearing again and again. So that's not really going to help us. Turtles, maybe. That doesn't appear in the title of the article. So maybe turtles might help us. Okay. Now here we have different steps. And once you have located the matching paragraph, at that point, what you want to do is you have to start looking for these other keywords from the question in that paragraph. So let's go ahead and mark some keywords from the questions as well. Now over here, we have a very good keyword, 71 species. So that's a number that's going to be very easy for us to find. Something about living turtles and tortoises. Those may be repetitive keywords. Okay, something here about examination. A total of what? Taken from the bones of their forelimbs. Okay, bones and forelimbs. So those are the keywords for question number 34. Here for number 35, we have something about data being recorded. Recorded on what? Recorded on what? So that seems to be the specific information that they are looking for. So this is our connecting keyword. It is also the specific information that we are looking for. So what I want to do, just to add some extra emphasis, I want to highlight this red because I want you to pay special attention to this part because this is the information that we are looking for. Data was recorded on what? On what? So probably going to be some sort of a noun. Here we have a total of what? So it's probably going to be some sort of a number maybe, since we're talking about 71 species and a total of what were taken. A total of something, perhaps a number in association with something else. So that is the specific information that we are looking for here. Okay, over here we have our other keywords for comparing information. Comparing information, and that is our other keyword. Now here for number 36, we have something about land tortoises being represented by a dense what? A dense what? A dense something of points. Towards the top. Towards the top. So those are the keywords there. Sea turtles were grouped together in bottom part. Okay, I'm not going to be marking keywords from there. That's not part of our questions, and also we don't have great keywords here. Maybe bottom. That might help us. Okay, here we are at step number 3. This talks about the same data. So we have to be sure that when we are looking for our answer, the answer correlates back to the same data that was collected from some living what species? That's going to be a noun. Okay, maybe the name of species, some living type of species. Added to the other results. Here we have the outcome, points, species turned out to be positioned. Triangle can be a good keyword. That may be easy for us to find. Positioned about dash up the triangle. Triangle can be a good keyword. That may be easy for us to find. Between the land and the sea turtles. Okay, so land tortoises and sea turtles, that might help us as well. Finally, we have step number 4, something about bones, and look at that. We have excellent keywords right here. Now that is going to be very easy to find. They are italicized and they are also proper nouns. Now, something about these species being examined in a certain way, and something about results and outcome down here. Here we have position of the points. Position indicated something. They indicated something. Both ancient creatures were what? Okay. So those are all of our keywords. And when you find these keywords, again, I've marked this part red to highlight the fact that you may need to pay special attention. You should be paying special attention to connecting words and phrases that are asking you for specific information. So here it is asking us for a total of something recorded on some sort of a noun is going to be the answer here. Land tortoises were represented by a dense what? A dense something of points. Okay. And then down here, it's saying the position of points indicated something. What did they indicate? That is going to be the specific information that we are looking for. That is important. Points indicated what? That is the main thing that we are looking for. Okay, so now the next step is to identify which of these questions are going to be the easiest for us to answer. And what do you think, guys? Which one is going to be the easiest to answer? Well, if you've been following along, you will know that the easiest question to answer is going to be number 39, because here we have proper nouns. And the next easiest question is going to be number 34, because this number 71 species is also going to be quite easy to find. So I'm assuming that these questions go in order. So I'm going to look for the answer to this first, and then I'm going to look for the answer to question number 34. And then if everything is in fact going in order, then we should be able to find the rest of our answers sandwiched in between number 34 and number 39. So let's see how that goes. Let's see if we can find the answers in order. So I'm going to start off by first trying to locate, well, the easiest keywords are these. So I'm going to be locating the matching paragraph by identifying these keywords. Most of the times, guys, I want to point out, I've mentioned this before, but when you have diagram questions, table questions, and flowchart questions, most of the times, all of these questions are going to come from just one paragraph. Sometimes they may be more, they may be 2 paragraphs, but most of the times it'll be only coming from one paragraph. And if it happens to come from more than one paragraph, most of the times they're going to tell you that, hey, the answer comes from paragraphs B through F or something like that. They're going to give you the number of the paragraphs. So I'm expecting to find all my answers in one paragraph, maybe 2 paragraphs at most. So once I locate these keywords, I should be able to also locate my matching paragraph. So let's look for these keywords. P. quensteady, I think that's how it's said, I'm not sure. And then P. telempiensis. Okay, weird words. So look at that. I see them right away over here, appear to be here at the bottom of the article. So it appears here. and then appears again over here. Let's see if it appears anywhere else. Yeah, I really love these keywords because they're italicized, so really easy to scan. Okay, that's about it. So I see that these keywords are appearing at 3 different locations: 1, 2, and 3. So what I want to do, I'm not sure where I'm going to find my answer. I'm not going to be reading all 3 areas. That would be a waste of my time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to be looking now for this keyword, 71 species, because if I can find that, then I know I've found my matching paragraph. So let's scan for the number 71. We are looking for 71 species. It makes sense to just look for that number around this area in that same paragraph or around that paragraph. We're most likely to find it there. Okay. Don't see it here. There I see it. 71 species. I'm going to scan a little bit more. Just make sure that it doesn't appear again very quickly. Yeah, it doesn't appear again. So this right here is going to be our matching paragraph. All of this part right here, starting from over here. Most likely we're going to find all of our answers in there. And I already see some of our keywords. I see keywords like triangle, points. I remember it mentioned something about upper because I remember that there was the word top in one of our questions. So it's really important as well, guys, to have the rest of the keywords in the back of your mind. You don't have to remember them. Don't try to memorize them. Just have them in the back of your mind, kind of, so that when they jump out in the article, then you know that the answer may be somewhere around here. So here I see triangular. I also see the word graph. See about something about water and land. I remember that there was something about land and sea tortoises. Let's see what else. Mention something about land here again about water. Okay, let's see. Something here again about triangle. So you can see that we have a lot of keywords here. Bones. I remember that bones was another one of our keywords. Let's come down to our questions. So you'll see here we have located a lot of our keywords. Bones, top, we found a synonym for top, upper. Points, something about data. Data might be a synonym for information. Here we also have the word data over here. Again, the word data reappears. Triangle, land, sea. Okay, we've located a lot of these keywords, so I'm pretty sure that is going to be our matching paragraph. Now let us start to answer these questions, and I want to start off by answering this question. So the question says, the position of the points indicated that both these ancient creatures were what? What did the position of the points indicate? What did the position of the points indicate about the ancient creatures? Let us come up here, and here we have those keywords. So let's read this part. The bones of P. quenstedi and P. talampiensis leave us in no doubt. Their points on the graph are right in the thick of the dry cluster. Both these fossils were dry land tortoises. Okay, so here it says both these fossils were dry land tortoises. So here is saying the position indicated that both creatures were what? What did the position indicate? That both creatures were what? Here it says that both these fossils of creatures, they're talking about these creatures. They're talking about these two species. The bones are the fossils. So both these creatures were what? Were dry land tortoises. There we go, that is our answer. That was a little bit tricky. It used synonym language. So always be on the lookout for such synonym language. Most of the times your answers are going to be disguised. They're going to be hidden right in front of you but disguised in synonym language. So here I found the answer to question number 39. I'm going to put that question number next to it, and let us come down and put that into our answer sheet. So the answer here is dry land tortoise. I think it was tortoises. I think it was plural. Always be sure to write your answer in exactly the same form as it appears over here. Okay, don't take any chances with that. Great, so that is our answer for that. The next question I want to answer is this one, having to do with 71 species. We already located this sentence, this area. It's up over here. So let's read the sentence. We're going to find our answer somewhere in there. So starting from over here. Walter Joyce and Jacques Gauthier at Yale University obtained 3 measurements in these particular bones of 71 species of living turtles and tortoises. So it's saying that out of these 71 species of living turtles and tortoises, these folks over here from Yale University obtained 3 measurements. Okay, what did they obtain? 3 measurements. Look at the question down here. 71 species of living turtles and tortoises were examined. Okay, we know that they studied 71 species. And a total of what was taken from the bones? What was taken from the bones? Total of what? Says that right here. 3 measurements were taken from the bones. Okay? 3 measurements were obtained. It says obtained. That is synonym language for taken. Okay? To take is to obtain. That is synonym language. So a total of 3 measurements were taken, were obtained. So that is our answer there. We're going to come up over here and put the question number next to this. Up here actually. So what was that? Number 34. Great. I'm also going to highlight this in the green color just so that you can see where I found the answer. Let us now move on to answering the rest of the questions. So here you can see that we have located the answer to question number 34 and number 39 all in the same paragraph. So this is in fact our matching paragraph, and my best guess is that most of the answers, the remaining answers, are going to be found in between these 2 answers. So everything is going to be in there. So let us move through this step by step. Let's start off with number 37. Here we have the question. The data was recorded on a what? Some sort of a noun is going to be the answer. And this noun is necessary for comparing information. So data was recorded on something, and this something is important for comparing information. So I found the answer to question number 34 here. So the answer to number 35 should be after this line. So here we go. I'm going to be looking for data and something to record on. Okay, those are the keywords that I'm looking for. And here I do see measurements. Now, measurements is not exactly data, right? But it is synonym language for data. That is synonym language. It can be. Here we have the word plot. Plot is synonym language for what? Can you guess? Record. Plot is synonym language for record. Okay, so here it seems that we may find our answer around here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this line. So it says they used a kind of triangular graph paper to plot the 3 measurements against one another. Look at that. It says against one another. Against one another. What does that mean? Well, that is synonym language for comparing information, because when you compare information, you compare one piece of information against another piece of information. Okay, so that is also another use of synonym language, and you can see, guys, this can get quite tricky. This can get quite tricky. So yeah, you have to have the vocabulary to understand synonym language. It's an English exam. They're testing your comprehension. Are you able to understand synonym language? That is key in the IELTS reading portion. So let's come down to our question again. The question says, the data was recorded on what? This something is necessary for comparing information. Well, it tells me that right here. They used a kind of triangular graph paper. Triangular graph paper. That is the answer, because this is the something that they used to record the data, which is also used for comparing information against one another. So I'm just going to make that green over here, put the question number next to it. This is the answer to number 35. Let us come down and put that into our answer sheet. So the answer here is triangular graph paper. Oh, but remember guys, I just remembered that here it says that I cannot write any more than 2 words, okay? If I wrote triangular graph paper, my answer would be marked wrong because the answer can not be more than 2 words. So the answer is going to be just graph paper. Graph paper, okay? That is the answer for 35. Great. And let me also correct that over here because the correct answer is not triangular graph paper, but just graph paper. Only 2 words. Great. Now let us move on to number 36. So here we go. Land tortoises were represented by a dense what of points towards the top? Okay, so a dense something of points towards the top. A dense something of points towards the top. And here I have the keyword points. Here I have upper, which is synonym language for top. So I think that this may be our matching sentence. Let's go ahead and read it. All the land tortoise species formed a tight cluster of points in the upper part of the triangle. Okay, so what of points? It said it formed what of points? Tells you right here. A tight cluster of points. Look at the question. A dense what of points? Here, dense is synonym language for tight. Okay, packed together, really concentrated. Those are all synonym words for dense. So a dense what of points? A dense cluster of points. Cluster is the correct answer. So here is the answer, a tight or a dense cluster of points. And that is where we found the answer to number 36. Okay, 2 more left, 37 and 38. Let's knock these out. The same data was collected from some living dash species, okay, a certain type of species, and added to the other results. Okay, now here added also seems to be an important keyword for me. So I'm going to mark that keyword as well. Might be useful. So now I'm looking for keywords related to data, and not just any data, a very specific type of data. This is the same data collected from some living species and added to other results. Let's see if we can find something related to that, probably after this point. I'm going to start over here. So looking for data. And over here, I see that we have the word added. I remember that I just marked added as one of our keywords. The question talked about how we added extra information to the data, to that same data. So that seems to be related. And this is the data that we're talking about, by the way. It's talking about the data that we plotted on this triangular graph paper. And then over here, it mentions that same triangular graph paper again. And it's also talking about the same cluster. Remember, we talked about cluster up here. It's talking about the same cluster, and it's talking about turtles and tortoises. So it does not say here anywhere about it being the same data, but that is implied. That is implied in the meaning. This is synonym language again, and this is very subtle, very hidden, and they don't tell you that they're talking about the same data. But if you look at the rest of the context, if you look at what this sentence is really about, you start to see the same things appear again and again. For example, they're talking about the triangular graph. They're talking about the cluster. They're talking about adding to that same data. So then you can glean from that they are talking about the same data. So this is where you're going to find your answer. So let's go ahead and read this sentence. I'm going to start reading from over here since this is where our keyword added appears. Here we go. There was no overlap except when they added some species that spend time both in water and on land. Sure enough, these amphibious species show up on the triangular graph approximately halfway between the wet cluster of sea turtles and the dry cluster of land tortoises. Okay, so we have a data set, the same data, and this data is plotted on the triangular graph, and this new species that we added, and it's talking about this species, the amphibious species, the species that can live in both water and on land. This species appears in this data set approximately halfway between wet cluster of sea turtles and dry cluster of land tortoises. So you have sea turtles on the one hand and land tortoises on the other hand, and right in between you have these amphibious species. So looking at our question again, the question said some living dash species, a certain type of species. Okay, that's what we are talking about. The same data was collected from what type of species? Well, it tells us that the same data was collected from amphibious species. Amphibious is the answer for number 37. Now we only have the last one left, number 38. The question says, the points for these species turned out to be positioned about dash up the triangle between the land tortoises and the sea turtles. Well, I remember just reading about that. We just read about that. Where is it positioned? I just told you. It's positioned halfway between the sea turtles, which appear on one side, and the land tortoises, which appear on the other side, right? Where does it appear? Where is it positioned? Tells you that right here. These amphibious species show up or appear, synonym language, on the triangular graph approximately halfway between the wet cluster of sea turtles and land tortoises. Okay, so where is it positioned? It's telling you the exact position, halfway between, approximately halfway between the wet cluster and the between the sea turtles and the land tortoises. So positioned about halfway up the triangle, halfway. That is the answer. Awesome. So we are now finished with all of our answers. I know that this was a little bit trickier, this set number 2, because this comes from reading passage number 3. So expect to find more complex level synonym language when you are answering questions from reading passage number 3. Okay, just something to keep in mind. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video, in which we're going to be talking about the next type of question.